Welcome to my Wednesday devotional. As you can see today, I've got the hat on. It's because at Pewauk they're doing tea and testimonies, and so we're supposed to all wear a hat for Mother's Day and tea and all things female. And I just love doing that. I did this about like 10 years ago in Hawaii. I wore this outfit with this matching hat, and that's where I got this from. My husband loves tan, so wearing it for him. But anyway, okay, so we're back. I'm back. As you can see, I had my surgery. It was very simple, very easy, went smooth sailing. So thank you all for the prayers. It ended up being a lot simpler than I realized. Sometimes we get things all worked up on our minds, and then we go there and you're like, oh, that wasn't so bad. So I'll be going through my next step next week. So please keep me in your prayers as I go through this. I'm getting all new teeth process, so it's going to be a bit of a process, but I'm really excited. Looking forward to taking care of my health. Like I said, now that I've turned 50, it's going to be all about my health now. So anyway, but yeah, my teeth are feeling great, so I'm really excited. So okay, so we are on our devotional. We're on Esther chapter 2. Let's see. I only did one verse this time, and I put in something else because next time we're going to talk a little bit more about Esther. So right now we're starting to make the turn into Esther and how Mordecai is going to fit in there. Like I said, they're parallel stories. So that's why I only did one verse this time. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. So we've got verse 7. So this is still part of the whole chapter about Esther becoming queen. So verse 7, this man had a very beautiful and lovely young cousin, Hadassah, who was also called Esther. When her father and mother died, Mordecai adopted her into his family and raised her as his own daughter. All right, there's a couple of points that I want to talk about. First of all, talking about beauty, because, I've been all about that. Notice that she was very beautiful and lovely young cousin. So it's just interesting how the writers are already, gearing us up for this, and they didn't say unattractive or something like that, like they did. There's another part of the Bible, I forget where, but they described a woman who was not attractive as someone with tired eyes, downcast eyes. And so it's interesting that they're saying here she was very beautiful and lovely, and we'll talk about more as it goes on, about beauty treatments and stuff like that, because that's also something, it's interesting to me. But, and as women, most of us enjoy beauty. And so they're already describing her as beautiful and lovely, okay? And so second piece of this that I also highlighted, so Mordecai. So even though it's his younger cousin, he adopted her into his family more like a daughter, and I've said before, this could be like the cousin uncle or cousin uncle father. Mordecai is just kind of everything, her guardian, her advisor. You're going to see more when we go on. That's why I only did one verse, because the next section is going to change a little bit. So right now, we got two parts. She was very beautiful, but she was orphaned, So thankfully, Mordecai, basically took her in and raised her as his own, as it says, right? So going to Ephesians. And I know Ephesians is in the New Testament, and so you're saying to me, okay, wait, where else, what are you talking about? Where else have we seen this? And so the reason why I brought this one up is verse 5. Notice the similarities and how they parallel. God decided in advance to adopt us into his own family by bringing us into by bringing us to himself through Jesus Christ. This is what he wanted to do, and it gave him great pleasure. So think about, I was just noticing, where else, because I was thinking about Mordecai. This man is very godly, he could have just left her out there and just said, too bad, because we know that happens in families, right? But instead, he took Esther and he adopted her into his family. Well, who else did that? God adopted us into his own family. Interesting. I was just really moved by that, of the parallels here between Mordecai and God. So it's very interesting because in the book of Esther, God is never mentioned. So we kind of have to look into things and read into it and say, where do we see God's hand, even though he wasn't literally mentioned? Well, I'd say in this section right here, where Mordecai adopted her to his own family. That's what God did. And I bet during this time, because Mordecai already, and you're going to see more, that he really seems like a godly man. And we're going to see, that's true. But she must have, she was beautiful and lovely, so she got great manners by being with his family, with Mordecai and his family. So, same thing here with God. He adopted us into his own family. And, I don't know about anyone else, but sometimes, if we're in a godly church, and not to say that everyone's perfect, but I'm sure, I know there's some challenges. I'm not going to, sugarcoat it, but at the end of the day, there still are some good people in the church. There are some godly people that you come across, and to be around that really, good influence, I think that's really important. And so I think that's what guides us spiritually, and so that we can be beautiful, not just physically, but in our hearts, emotionally, spiritually. And I'm one of those people, I firmly believe in inner beauty. I firmly believe that when you have a beautiful heart, that it just radiates, and it doesn't matter how many gum surgeries or whatever, or new toothpaste that I've been working on. You can whiten the smile all day, but what if I had ugliness in my heart, right? It would come out through my eyes and my facial expressions, just like Vashti. Remember Queen Vashti? They did say, yes, she was beautiful, but what was her attitude? She was like, disobedient, right? And so what happened? Well, she's out. And as we were about to find out, Esther's in. She was beautiful and lovely, Now remember, so was Vashti. So what's the difference? We're going to find out, right? Okay. So I just really want you guys to think about this week. I really wanted to slow it down and noticing the parallels. Who adopts you into your own family? For my husband and I, we've been on active duty since we were 18 and 19-year-old respectively, and we've been on the road the whole time. Like I said, I left home when I was 18, haven't gone back, and as you know, I'm 50, so I've always been on my own, doing my own thing. And I met my husband in college, and he was like me, and that's why we paralleled, kind of came in and we're able to get married and start a family. And with our family, with our kids, we've taken them on the road all over the place when my husband was on active duty. And what you find in your Army family, both whether you're in on active duty or when was with my husband, I was an Army wife. Your friends, they used to say your Army family. Well, same thing with church. It's your church family. They're different than your blood relatives, but sometimes they're even closer. Those I can tell you. My Army friends feel closer to me in my heart. A lot of the time than my blood relatives, because you're seeing your Army family every day. You live here, you work, you live, you eat, all that stuff with your Army family, and your biological family of origin is somewhere else. Could be a half a world away sometimes, like when I was in Korea. That was really difficult. And so, I was 19 years old when I was in Korea, and my first duty station. And so I learned very quickly, your Army family, sometimes they know you better. I know, it sounds kind of crazy, but that's it, So I kind of think of it the same way with God and the church, that church family is sort of like your Army family, They see you on your good days and bad days. And a lot of the time with your church family, they're the first ones you turn to when if your husband's sick or your kid's sick or something like that, and you need a meal train or whatever it is you need, So I just want you guys to think about that. Who's your family? And if you're feeling like you don't have family, especially since Mother's Day is this Sunday, and we're thinking about family, at the end of the day, God can always adopt you anytime. when you're willing to come in. Or if you're already a believer, then just be reminded of that. You know, He is our Heavenly Father, and we have a beautiful family here that, with open arms that want to help anytime. So, all right, okay. Well, I hope you guys have a very happy Mother's Day weekend, and that there's beautiful weather wherever you are at. We're a bit gloomy today, but that's Maryland. Then tomorrow it's supposed to be sunny. So I'm hoping for Mother's Day that it'll be sunny and beautiful and everything will be gorgeous. And hopefully for our little tea party tomorrow. So anyway, all right. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate all the subscriptions, like, share, comment. Again, everything you do gets me out on the main page, and we can spread God's word. So I sure appreciate you. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next week. All right, bye-bye.